Retrospective. I'm your host, Werezilla. If you were to ask someone what Steven Spielberg's most famous movie is, they would most likely tell you E.T. And the second, that would probably be Jaws. But the third would be Jurassic Park. Starting with the late Michael Crichton's novel, Jurassic Park is one of those movies that each generation gets to see at an early age. As an adaptation of the book, it does have more than its fair share of inaccuracies, but unlike most movie adaptations, it shows how it can clearly stand on its own without ruining the reputation of the source material. It has solid direction, the acting was good, the score was epic, something that's pretty much default as far as music composed by John Williams is concerned. And like a certain other movie involving islands inhabited by dinosaurs, Jurassic Park revolutionized special effects for the time. The animatronics and CG dinosaurs are some of the most convincing effects in cinema, which is quite a statement for a movie that's 18 years old. At the very least, the effects are not as overindulgent or fake-looking as other films I've reviewed. Being a popular movie, it naturally got a sequel, The Lost World. No, not that one. That one. There we go. It was a decent movie, flawed but decent, despite what some people will tell you. It was based on the book of the same name. No, still not that one. That one. Jeez, who's editing all these smart-ass literary references into this review? It's like I want you to read or something. The first two movies certainly stood on their own without needing to sell out to toys or games. But something went wrong in 2001 when Jurassic Park 3 was released. A ton of video games and toys came out in order to cash in on it. It was almost at Star Wars level of reliance on merchandising. And if there was anything that smells of cash-in, it would be the PC game Jurassic Park 3 Dino Defender. Although as we go through this game, I'm going to question whether or not the game designers actually watched the third movie. Alright, let's get this game started. A nasty storm blows in, knocking out the power in the island, and therefore meaning that the dinosaurs are now running wild. On Isla Sonar. The one that already had dinosaurs running loose. Okay. Dino Defender Command apparently thinks the dinosaurs will now kill each other now that they're loose. Really? They seemed fine for 10 years without human interference. In fact, the second movie is any indication the humans can barely help themselves on the island. So what exactly is our mission? Go down there and turn on the power again? Hey, I got a better idea. Why don't you airlift me down to the circuit breakers, then bring me back up into the chopper so I don't get ripped apart by dinosaurs? Oh wait, we can't do that. There'd be no game if we did that. Alright, here we are at the first level and our first look at the titular Dino Defender. Looks like a prototype for Master Chief's armor. Though both this game and Halo Combat Evolved did come out the same year. Coincidence? Anyway, back to the game and... Wait, what? Killed by compies? I'm in a power suit. I shouldn't have any problems. If the Dino Defender can get killed just as easily as the characters from the movie, why even bother with the power armor?
Power armor is for pussies.
So after getting equipment from the supply box, we see its call boxes and tranquilizers. What, no guns? Nothing of the sort? Why the hell would he go to Isla Sorna? Hell, why would he go to any island inhabited by dinosaurs and not bring a gun? Where else do you think this idiot would forget to bring any kind of weapon of any kind? So after sneaking past a group of raptors and activating fuse boxes, the Dino Defender makes it to the water and is attacked by giant jellyfish. Wait, that wasn't on Engine's list. Makes me wonder what else they're up to. Well, that was a short level, as the Dino Defender then falls down a hole in a cave and now finds himself underground. Oh, and get used to this falling scene, by the way. Do you want to know the most common way to die in this game? It's not via any individual dinosaur. Oh, no. It's missing your mark on jumps and falling down the same crevice over and over and over and over again! It does not even matter what level you're in. No matter where you fall, you will see the Dino Defender tumble to his doom in the exact same crevice. I even fell down into water at one point, and instead of showing him die a horrible drowning death, he falls down a rocky crevice. Eventually, the Dino Defender makes it back up to the surface. There's a pair of stegosauruses, and apparently they decided not to make a cutscene of the Dino Defender getting stabbed by their tails. And then we have one of the worst level transitions I've ever seen in a game. We start in the jungle, but the next cutscene we immediately cut onto a cliff face and get knocked over by a pterodactyl. Are you detecting a pattern here? This guy isn't exactly a very capable hero.
Now we are climbing the rock faces. Reminds me exactly of Jurassic Park. Wait, something feels familiar about these pterodactyls. Limited animation, generic bird chirps. Ah, crap! The bird demic has reached Isla Sorna! Run for your lives before someone starts bitching about global warming!
Whew. Okay, I think we're safe.
Oh, that's just my luck. Now I have to deal with the mightiest of all beasts, the king of the dinosaurs, the powerful Tyrannosaurus Rex, and why isn't it attacking?
Is this that whole T-Rexes can't see if you don't move thing? Wasn't expecting that to become an actual gameplay mechanic, but okay, I'll bite.
Wait a minute. Is that the gates from the first movie?
This game has as much continuity with Jurassic Park as the Millennium Godzilla films have with the rest of its franchise. Which is to say, barely any beyond the first movie.
Oh, and despite all that sneaking around to get past the Rex, it finds the Dino Defender anyway. What are you doing? Run! Run!
Must go faster.
I gotta tell you guys, I don't think he's gonna make it. I think that T-Rex is actually gonna catch up.
Let's see that again. Someone called Jeff and Jack from Achievement Hunter. I think we just found a new fail of the week. After all, this game already has a wannabe Spartan in it already.
Oh man. So after the player picks themselves off the floor and returns to the game, they continue across the treetops and down to a lower level of the forest. I'm sure the Apatosauruses don't mind the human in power armor, which has to be heavy, jumping on their heads. Though to be fair, it is commonplace in games for heroes to jump on the heads of their enemies in order to get across a chasm. And now comes a part of the game that really irritated me. No, not that. The Dino Defender must take out 3 raptors, but in order to get to the raptor tranquilizers, one must run in between falling tree branches to get at it. And even touching the dust left behind kills the Dino Defender. For God's sake, it's tree branches! And once again, no cutscene showing the character getting crushed to death by tree branches. And as I said before, why would a guy in power armor get killed by tree branches, much less the dust left behind? And all of that for trapping a trio of raptors.
Is it starting to occur to anyone why bringing a gun to an island infested with dinosaurs would have been a really useful idea? Oh. See? It is stupid!
Now that the Dino Defender has gone in a complete circle and is back in the treetops, he is menaced by a Spinosaurus. Okay, so we are on Isla Sorna, I guess. The T-Rex confronts the Spinosaurus, and at least this game one-ups Jurassic Park 3 by having the T-Rex scare off the pretender to the throne. Wait, how did we get in the T-Rex paddock? The cutscene goes from the Dino Defender crouching behind a fuse box, and now is in a paddock somehow.
Is this game ever going to make up its mind? It's a tie-in to the third movie, and yet it can't decide whether or not it's on Isla Nublar or Isla Sorna. It's like a kid wrote the story for this game.
So after a very tedious sequence involving raptors and pipes under the paddocks, the Dino Defender finds himself in the Spinosaurus cage. What?
I can't decide what's getting screwed with more. Jurassic Park continuity or my mind?
Who exactly put all this scaffolding in the Spinosaurus cage anyway? This is probably one of the slowest parts of the game. The Spinosaurus can't be outrun, and merely touching its tail will cause death, and there's no clear way around it. Trust me when I say I died plenty of times in this sequence.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Back that scene up a minute. This game is rated E. It even mentions ages 8 and up. Is having an anatomically correct dinosaur appropriate for this game? Save the anatomically correct creatures for the God of War games. At least those are rated M.
And now it's time for the patented Rancor moment as the gate closes on the Spinosaurus' neck. Unlike in Return of the Jedi, though, it doesn't kill the dinosaur. And so we finish the game in the Visitor Center on Isla Nublar. You know, from the first movie, not the third. And here's where we have a very awkward final boss fight. Up to this point, the Dino Defender has simply had to trap and tranquilize the dinosaurs. Pretty humane. But in this fight, the Dino Defender drops 4 skeletons on the Spinosaurus, killing it. So we can't have a weapon to defend ourselves from the dinosaurs in this game because that would be too violent, although that's a much more logical idea. But having a fight where a Spinosaurus gets flat out murdered by getting crushed by skeletons, that's just fine. Don't you just love hypocrisy in games? After the Dino Defender leaves the Visitor Center, he sees a bunch of helicopters flying away, abandoning him after all the shit he just went through for them.
Well, that was an abrupt ending, I must say.
Dino Defender certainly has that feeling of the creators not knowing its own source material. The game seems to merge the two islands from the movies together, and apart from the dinosaurs, it doesn't seem to have any references to the third movie. The movie it's tying into. It seems like they just came up with a new story with literally no context of its own subject. The plot is so mundane that it really needs to have a rewrite. Restore power to Jurassic Park? What do I look like, an electrician? Isla Sorna is the one that didn't have power, and the dinosaurs were running wild in the first place.
It seems pretty clear that this game is meant for kids, but the learning curve seems to be aimed at much more skilled gamers.
While it starts off simple enough, the countless deaths by making simple mistakes are so numerous that kids would rage quit this game until years later when they decide to review it.
Okay, maybe that last bit was just me.
I am not saying that this is the worst entrance in the Jurassic Park franchise. Far from it. But it's still flawed. I don't want to give the impression that this game is unplayable, because that's not true. You'd probably play it and let it be. However, that doesn't change the fact that the hero isn't very competent, the plot is thinner than the one in the third film, and trust me, that's saying a lot. The music is forgettable, which feels like hypocrisy considering the John Williams score from the movies, and overall is catering to younger audiences way too much.
And given how the movies and books are much more solid entries, Dino Defender will just be remembered as the simpler, more kid-friendly entry that people will pay no interest in. Though, I suppose it could have been a lot worse. The entire game could have just been some kind of child's daydream. Boy, that would have been stupid. Hello? What's this? Looks like a gift from Dino Defender Command. No.